We
Are
have
those graphic? I was like, are those graphics for the
Round
decks they're
two.
playing?
Yeah, they are.
Oh
So we
my god, that
have
is so cool.
Drew Garrick, and I believe that's Brigands or the Tri Brigade. I don't even.
But
What am I-
that's a Zoodiac, buddy.
That is
What?
a Zoodiac.
That's Zoodiac. You're the
Zoodiac.
boomer. You should know this.
Oh, come on, man. It's been a while.
That's true. What have you been doing today? You've been busy.
Just working, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we had to get to the stream late, but we are here now. And Brendan also looking like he's on Madolche. I know that he has played this deck a fair bit down in Dunedin. I have tuned into a few of these streams and seen him on it, so knows what he's doing with it. And on the other side, I see a Monster Reborn. So he's
Battle of the
playing-
Earth decks.
Yeah, Drew
Zoodiac
Garrick.
versus Madolche. And we're starting off here with a Vernisylph. Brennan here like, oh, the Ishizu cards all got limited, but I don't care. I'm gonna still play this deck.
Yeah, it looks like it as well. The Zoodiac is on like a pure Zoodiac deck. I see a Whiptail in the hand.
Yeah. I was like, there is why we do not play the Vernisylphs, because of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring basically taking 2 cards out of Brennan's hand there. But, you know, Anjali's probably the best follow-up you could have, right?
Yeah, I mean, that enables the sub combo, and that obviously, I think I've seen impermanence as well, so there is more interruption here.
I don't think it enables the full
Not the
combo.
full combo.
I think it's like
it gets them going.
Yeah, I think it's pretty bad.
And
oh god.
we will see
Poor
the power
cakes.
here of hand trap dock deck.
Well, Drew is going to normal summon a Zoodiac and just end the game, unfortunately. Is that like a 6 material Zeus? There's a water enchantress too. Oh my god.
Looks like he's on an adventure Zoodiac deck, so pretty interesting.
That makes sense, and actually explains last round Dino was playing, I think, 3 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit for, I presume, exactly this reason.
So yeah, open him with a copy of the Right of Aramasir.
Mm-hmm.
Summoning out the token. We have seen this play before.
We might have seen this is a bit of a retro play, actually.
It is
Like,
becoming that way, yeah.
I have not seen like this engine played for so long, and all of a sudden everyone's just decided it's the best thing to do again.
And I mean, why not? I mean, we saw YCS Lima, I believe, 2 Adventure Sprite in the final, so obviously the deck still has legs.
Yeah, and 1 Adventure Salamangreat, so 3 Adventure decks. Normal summon Zoodiac Whiptail. We've seen this play before too.
Yep. So here he will be triggering the Fateful Adventure to search for the Griffin Rider, but
Yeah, and of course
the Draco back.
could be anything. And of course, Drew will not be able to use the normal summon effect of Zoodiac Whiptail, which is, of course, critical to his game plan. I mean, it can activate on field, right?
I think so,
In
yeah.
theory, yeah.
In theory,
it's
yeah.
been done.
But here, the
Yeah.
Ash coming down.
Oh,
to
that was
stop-
searching.
Yeah, he stopped the Draco back, the Riderable Train
Oh.
search, and has let the Wandering Griffin Rider search go through.
Interesting call.
Interesting goal, yeah. Maybe just not understanding the card 100% there.
I think he's reading it now and going,
Oh, right.
interesting.
2 searches, okay.
To be fair, does it matter? I mean,
I mean,
either way, the Griffin Rider would, you know,
yeah.
either way, the Ash Blossom is leaving his hand, and it just puts him on 2,000 less attack points. I guess that could come up if he gets 1 turn killed here.
I think here, obviously Brennan just opened up, with not enough to get through 2 interruptions. He's in a bit of trouble. I think this game is almost wrapped up before it's even started, to be honest with you.
I almost think Brennan could have started with the Anjali, because maybe that would have, maybe Drew would have been tempted to hit that with Ash Blossom, and then you would have been able to resolve the Vernisylph. I feel like that's potentially likely. Using the Whiptail effect to banish the Petting Cessor as well. A little rude.
Yeah, so he'll be going in for 4,000 damage here with the Adventure token and the Griffin Rider, and just going.
I'm making a
Material Zeus.
humble play around Nibiru, I guess. 2 material Zeus, just as like, I don't need 6 materials.
And that's it.
1 is enough, and we
Game
scoop
one
it
done.
up. How many games have we seen ended by just, the 2,000 attack Griffin Rider and the 2,000 attack Rite of Aramesia token over 2 turns? It's like, sometimes that's just enough.
And I think that showcases perfectly the power of the Adventure engine, not needing to necessarily even rely on the other part of the deck. Sometimes Adventure can just do it by itself.
Yeah, well, it gives like control decks a 2-turn win condition, which, you know, if you look in the past, decks like Trap Tricks and Altergeist back in the day, they didn't win the game in 2 turns. So that's a pretty impactful part of the card. Even Zoodiacs can't really push for game so much, you know.
And I think in this wide open format we've got, like, this is actually like not an awful choice. I mean, Zoodiac's engine is very compact, so is the Adventure engine, and you can just pack in, you know, powerful spells, traps, hand traps, all sorts, like, to kind of just make up the 40 cards of that deck.
Yeah, I want to know if Drew is playing anything, you know, quote unquote spicy. You know, like are there Tri Brigades in this list? You know, are there, or is he just opting to play like as few monsters as possible and then just jamming the deck full of, you know, evenly matched and hand traps and things like that?
Well, I did get a glimpse there that he was on main deck Lightning Storm, so obviously very much a go in second build that he's put together.
True, and yeah, the Adventure engine is pretty good going second too. Cards like Draco back can out things like Skill Drain and problematic cards that your opponent might put in going first. Certainly Madolche plays, you know, some number of spells and traps, floodgates, things like that.
So I think the matchup here, I would say, is in favor of Drew. Like, I know the Madolche can struggle sometimes playing through multiple interruptions and hand traps. Whereas, and also I think that a Zeus is not terrible against the...
It's not bad, yeah.
Madolche strategy.
The interesting thing here is Brennan could opt to go second. So the one thing I'm thinking is Madolche actually is often a deck that likes to go second, and making Drew go first. I mean, Trident is banned, you know?
Yes.
If you can beat one Griffin Rider, you can probably beat whatever they set up. But I know recently Madolche has been going for a lot more of a turn 1 setup.
Yep, so looking like he's got a cross-out Designator in the hand, ready for an Ash Blossom, which
he really doesn't want to get Ash Blossomed here.
And he won't be.
And there we go. We need this guy to resolve. Although, I don't think the Vernisils can resurrect themselves, right? So pitching an Ash Blossom, they're not the best play. We do get to add any Earth Fairy from deck to hand. So adding Anjali, that's kind of cool. And they can reborn themselves. Okay.
Reborn itself, yeah.
Oh, thank God. I thought that was just a...
We'll also see a Contact C, I believe, in the hand of Drew, which he is going to reveal now.
That's interesting. Let
Let
me look up Sistart on Neuron real quick to see if his turn is over.
There may be no issue here.
Contact C, an interesting choice. Certainly makes sense for Zoodiac. Sistart is 2 Madolches.
Oh,
but we play IP.
IP. Okay, that's completely fine.
Well, don't worry, he can't activate the effect of IP this turn because he's used a Vernisil. Right. 2 hand traps, but this time I think Contact C Ash is a weaker open than an Ash Imperm, I will say.
Yeah, especially against a deck that can just deal with it.
Yeah, and there's the Hoot Cake. Oh, Hoot Cake can banish the Vernisylphs, right? Oh, that's cute. I've like just not played against this deck. No, it can't? Okay, no, thank God. I was like, what the hell? Wait, it can banish anything? I don't know anything about Madolches, apparently. I've lost to this deck more than I've played it, so...
I've had a terrible time with commentary lately where I come into decks where I just don't know what's going on.
I swear to God, it has to banish a Madolche card, but actually, no. It can just banish any monster.
Okay.
You've had a bad time with commentary not knowing what cards do?
Apparently so, yeah.
You got roasted at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Open, did you? Huh? Did the Americans make fun of you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I did see a few comments here and there, but overall, we survived it.
Nice, good job.
Just 1 monster in your graveyard. So yep, you can banish the anything you want there.
All right, so we're going to do the old, doing a good Zoodiac impression here, ranking up into
the Chocolata mode.
Chocolata mode, I believe. The one thing I have trouble with is names, because I just like these cards are just like shapes to me. Yeah, Chocolata mode. This is an interesting card because this card triggers whenever a Madolche is shuffled into the deck. So like the cornerstone of this deck when the Ishizu cards rule at 3 is you could use stuff like Keldo and Mudora to get this card to trigger like 4 times, which was really good. I mean, nowadays you kind of just use its own effect to do it, which is still pretty good. But God, that deck used to be really explosive when those cards were at 3. I wonder if Brennan is still playing the Shufflers. or if he has just opted to cut them entirely.
Yeah, it is quite interesting seeing. I think we have seen, multiple decks over this format, and like the thing that we really enjoy about Yu-Gi-Oh at the moment is everyone can just kind of play their pet decks. And I know Brendan very much he really does enjoy this Madolche strategy, and he has been playing this in Dunedin for what I think is almost years now. And Drew's obviously showed up with a Zoodiac deck, which I know he would have played that format back in the day. So yeah,
Drew's, I was gonna say he's played a lot of like Zoodiac builds in the last few years. Every time he's come up, so we're using the Chocolate mode again because Chateau shuffles the monsters from grave back into the deck. Yeah, it is a very open format. It's a really bad format in my opinion if you want to play the best deck. Like if your only goal in Yu-Gi-Oh is to play the best deck, I think it's like really, really miserable because everything's so diverse and everyone's kind of playing some form of like Floodgate Turbo, whether it's like a branded expulsion line or like a stereo lock. So like it actually is kind of only fun to play this format if you are playing your pet deck because everything's sort of evened the playing field, I guess.
Yeah, you're gonna have a rough time if you're showing up with Kashtira or decks like that
kind
in
of
any tournament at the moment because everyone's just so prepared for it, and it's a really good deck, but it is so easy to prepare for at the same time.
Yeah, I think for the kind of higher end sort of professional players, they share a bit of frustration with the inconsistency of being able to reliably win tournaments, right? Which is is in a way a bit like, kind of the rich get richer sort of, okay, sad you can't win another YCS, but
I'm all for these formats. I love it when anyone can play what they want and still compete at sort of high level events.
I mean, I'm still playing Teal, so I'm with you there. It's like, screw it, we got 7 cards on the ban list, but it's good enough, this format,
It's a fire formation tanky. Obviously searching out the bear.
So, okay, we have an Ash Blossom here. I was like, if we can out the IP Masquerader, doesn't Zeus, like, solo this board?
Oh, hang on. He cannot Ash Blossom this turn, right?
What?
Because he's under crossout. Doesn't crossout last another turn?
No, God, no. Oh my God, imagine.
It
no, it's not. It's
it's not, I'm thinking of Call By, yeah.
You're thinking of Call By, yeah. If we can beat IP Masquerader, I think we win. If we make like a huge Zeus.
I think, is he got a card in hand? Because can he deal with...
Oh, maybe not. Wait, did we just lose? I have been in this position so many times against Zoo where like you set up a bunch of negates and then go, oh, they don't care at all about negates. They just make Zeus.
Oh, here you go. So he is using the IP to go into...
Underworld Goddess. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Underworld Goddess. There we go. That deals with
That's good enough. Yeah, that's like kind of a Nightmare Unicorn. So it's a little better. Negate the tanky. Yeah, Zoodiac, if their normal summon is interrupted, is a lot weaker. They can play through like 6 negates, but not a compulse.
Feels a little bit like a Settlement Great sort of deck where if you interrupt that first monster that's on the field, they do struggle to come back.
Yeah, it's again, a lot of decks this format kind of have that feel to them, right? Like, oh, if you let my normal resolve, I'm gonna go crazy, and then you just, remove it from the field and they pass. Kind of has Rika kind of has that problem in some ways.
It does, yeah. Normal summon Alistair though, and we'll be okay.
That's not bad. That would have been pretty good. Yeah.
So Brendan here in a very good position.
Yeah, it's not bad. Drew's card has to be what, like, exactly like a Nibiru maybe, if Brennan chooses to overextend. But yeah, I've never not been OTK'd by Madolche, so this probably is the end of the game. Actually, I'll summon that in attack mode. Probably doesn't matter.
Like
that is a water enchantress.
Yeah, so no, maybe not. So it looks like he's passing turn, is it?
Well, it's interesting that I think Brennan's using the effect of Tiramisu triggering some effects in the end phase with Ticket and stuff like that. But yeah, Drew has a water enchantress. Is it possible that activating the Zoodiac normal summon effect there cost him? Maybe we could have not used it. Or did he? Maybe he drew into the water enchantress off of it. That's actually possible.
Yeah.
Which is pretty unfortunate if true.
And it does look
We're
like
just making access code? There's no way.
IP.
Oh,
okay,
Appaloosa.
Okay, sure.
That's actually pretty reasonable. Although, yeah, okay. I was like, Appaloosa would lose to normal summon Zoodiac, so we gotta have something else. Banish the Underworld Goddess. Sure. Yeah, why not? Don't need her anymore.
So I think Brendan here probably has enough to push through and take out game number 2 here. I don't think there was anything in Drew's hand that was posing a threat to this.
I think he's just respecting Nibiru, right? He's respecting Nibiru with Appaloosa.
Yeah, I also don't know if there was a Water Enchantress. I'm not 100% sure because
he does have one in his hand.
Are you sure? Because there was sort of
I could see it.
Reason to not use it, right?
Well, you can't use right because he'd used.
Oh yeah, he'd use a normal summon effect, right?
Used the Thoroughblade.
Yeah, true. That's probably what happened there.
He must have drawn it off the Thoroughblade, which is that's probably the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Because I think if he could have played through that IP, that would have been his game.
Yeah. I think the other card in hand was a Whiptail as well, so there's just nothing here that is going to stop the onslaught from Brendan. And
yeah, he's done for.
He'll have enough here.
So here, going into the Queen Tiramisu. Gonna deal with the last cards on Drew's board. Well, after a swift game 1 win for Drew, it's looking like Brennan's able to come back.
And take a swift game 2. I mean, we're only like, what, 17 minutes into the round. And
yeah, we're going to have to do like a freaking podcast in between.
Yeah.
I was like hanging out with the chat. Chat's pretty lively today. How's everyone doing at home? Must be a nice day to watch a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
Yeah.
I've got a nice glass of water by my side.
Last tournament here as well for Dice Jar Games in the Yu-Gi-Oh scene. Quite sad to see. Yeah. Yep. So this is their final ever regional before Greg has I don't know if I can really announce anything on stream or anything, but yeah, he has will be moving on from Dice Jar after this, and yeah, so this is the final stream and why we are covering it as well. As a bit
I think we commentated. We commentated the first one, right? So
yeah,
we're coming back. We're bringing it full circle. Bringing you the last. I actually didn't know it was the last one. I thought he was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, gone but not forgotten. There may be future Greg activity.
I'm sure there will be. I mean, Greg obviously provides some pretty decent looking streams and very clean looking as well. I mean,
yeah, you wouldn't waste these graphics. Just change the logo out. There's one thing that is a great thing, providing coverage for New Zealand events. We don't really get the same level of budget as something like an American event. So it's pretty cool to have someone like Greg just provide that to the community. Let us see what kind of cool brews people are up to down here.
Yeah, and we've seen that he's put a lot of work into the transitions in the stream as well as all these really nice overlays. Just doing them up on the fly. I mean, who was expecting a Zoodiac deck to be showing up today?
I know.
So yeah,
to be fair, I wasn't exactly expecting Evil Eye versus Rika round 1, so
no.
Anything could happen.
No, and that is one of the beauties of an open format, is we really don't know what's going to be coming next.
Speaking of what's coming next, what do you think Drew's going to do? Do you think he's going to go first?
It's gonna. I don't. The whole thing I've never liked about going second decks is like you are so reliant on what you open, what interruptions you kind of draw. So yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like he could throw Brennan here a little bit and maybe go first and have some sort of like floodgate thing in the side. Maybe he's got some copies of, I don't know, anti-spell, maybe something like a summon limit might do some work. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say without seeing what he's got in his side deck. But for me, that's what I would maybe angle towards, is like go second a couple of times and then throw your opponent and go first in the last game. But
yeah, it's tough. It's almost like those blind second decks. You almost always win game 1, right? Because no matter what dice roll, your deck is built to win that game. But then the game 3, is where things can get a little tricky, because how much are you relying on drawing something like a floodgate, or something like anti-spell or solemn judgment, to win you the game if you go first. And again, if you go second, you have to draw those cards. You don't get to search them. Like a deck that goes first can search everything at once turn one and end on like 5 or 6 interruptions.
Well, I know for sure that the Contact Seas will probably be coming out.
Yeah, pretty quickly showed Drew there that no, I have an out to that. Yeah, looks like he's making Brennan go first. So one thing that Drew,
oh sorry,
I was like, one thing that Drew might have run into last time was maybe he sided out some of his going second cards, not sure if Brennan would make him go first. So this time he'll be stock full of hand traps and lightning storms and things like that.
So yeah, that's the 3rd time that Drew has opened an Ash Blossom, and the 2nd time it's been answered by a crossout.
This is the 3rd crossout designator that has resolved this stream, by the way. Game 2, Roger used it to banish an evenly matched going first to beat Dino's evenly matched. So we've seen a lot of crossout gaming here, and it's looked kind of nice. It's looked pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because
you think in such a diverse format it would be much worse to play something like crossout.
Well, I'd argue the other way, because when things are so open, people just play generically good cards. You're seeing things like Ash Blossom and Joy Spring played at 3 in every deck. You got like Imperm being played at 3 in every deck. You got things like Nibiru floating around everywhere, evenly matched in every single side deck. Like crossout becomes almost a good option, because you know that every deck has these cards in there. You won't see a crossout be dead half as much as if there's a catered format,
I guess, but you still have to make the call. Am I going to put evenly matched in going first? I mean, yeah, obviously it paid off for Roger, but it was pretty risky, right? It's pretty risky, especially if you draw the 1 copy. I mean, then you've just got an evenly matched going first.
So we're seeing Madolche do Madolche things.
See Wonka Vision in the chat saying that 10 minutes behind the stream. Are you really? That seems. There's no way it's 10 minutes delay. You're right, though. The access code 7300 attack would have been very funny. I'm actually quite excited about the Cyburst deck in the next set. I think that deck's going to be really fun. Like an 8300 attack access code. That one.
Cyburst, I mean, just keeps getting new tools and new toys. So
yeah, it looks nuts.
Well, any Cyburst deck sort of only requires 2 monsters to show like game.
Yeah, as shown by MathMech, has been quite a represented deck this format. So we see here Brennan is doing the normal Madolche opening combo. It doesn't really end on a lot of interruptions. More so, looks to kind of garner a bunch of advantage and end on a board with Sistart and Glass Souffle that is a little hard to, how do you say, like hard to out. So the Sistart was, it provides protection to the cards it points to. It itself can't be really destroyed by battle. Glass Souffle provides protection to a monster in your field. Can't be, a lot of the cards in this deck sort of just can't be touched, and that is kind of what it looks to do going first, is just build a board you can't really break through. Something that Zoodiac doesn't care. They're just going to attack directly, make a Zeus. It is what it is. So
yeah, Brennan here really does need to put up an answer to the normal summon again.
Well, the IP was the Contact C almost like helped Brennan, because the IP was really useful that game, and I think at this point he's very much locked into Madolches. So interested to see what he does here. Summoning the second Messenger Lardo there, using the additional normal summon of Salon. Glass Souffle, but where's the interruption? I'm a little worried here. Second Chocolate mode.
Does have a draw or not, but it looks like in the hand.
Potentially looking to
heaps against.
No, yeah. I mean, potentially looking to like trigger these Chocolate modes during the opponent's turn. Setting Promenade. I mean, Promenade's a good card, especially against something like Tenki, but it doesn't do anything against, a Borbo, right? Just attack into the defense position Hootcake. All right. And then looks like passing a Drew here.
Yeah, one thing that we will see here is if Drew is able to establish a Zeus, the amount of materials that Zeus can have.
Nibiru for turn must be nice. Yeah, not the best feeling in the world, but
Yeah,
oh, is that no monsters?
Right of Aramisev potentially in the hand.
The adventure package less good than the Zoodiac package here. Really wants to see a Zoodiac. Asking about Chocolata mode here.
To win, what I would be doing right now, working out what Madolche does for the 100th time in 5 years.
I mean, the answer is like on this board, like nothing. Like none of these monsters are going to do anything, unless they printed a Madolche that like pops a card when it's special summoned from the deck in the last few months. I don't think so. But without the Zoodiacs, this is a pretty difficult board to deal with.
Yeah, right here, the perfect hand for Drew would be something like a Right and a Tenki. Is what he probably needs. He has a Lightning Storm, looks like. And
yeah, he's not going to lose to the Promenade. I should say the Lightning Storm will trade for the Promenade. Gonna have to start on that, you know. Calling spell traps. Brennan, you always negate this. There's no reason not to. Yeah.
Yep.
Get that. Bounce the Hoot Cake to hand. Salon triggers, setting another Madolche spell or trap from the deck. Can't be activated this turn, but you know, ticket's pretty good. And it's fun seeing like Brennan, like he's on like Madolche ticket. Like he's on some of the cards people don't usually run. Cards people used to play a lot more in like the older Madolche decks that were just looking to grind out resources. Ticket is like an incredible grind tool. There's a Fenrir.
Yeah, that's a monster.
That's a monster. Pairs pretty well with the Rite of Aramis here as well, considering it is a special summon monster. Getting another Fenrir, a classic Darkwing Blast play.
And draw knock.
Seeing here the draw again, yeah, not incredible, but does cut him off of the Fateful, yeah.
Apart from that though, not too much.
I don't think Drew can win this without a Zoodiac, personally.
Nah.
Just with knowledge of how difficult it is to actually deal with this board with just like a battle phase. You could use the Rite of Aramis to get Draco back from the deck and equip it.
Yep, so he has into battle phase, gone to...
No, that was the
sorry?
That was the Fenrir.
Oh yeah, true, yeah. So
because he got drolled.
Yeah, drolled, yeah, correct.
And yeah, just gonna attacking the Sistart. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. That is uh-oh. That is not what you should do. Using Sistart's effect to protect itself by shuffling a Madolche back to the deck. But then again, I think Chocolata mode has more attack than Fenrir, so it didn't really have a choice there. I honestly probably wouldn't have even... I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. If Ticket is on the field, you never do that, because then they just get a search. Yeah. Explaining that, nope, my monster lives.
Yeah, just not enough here, really drawn by Drew in the opening hand, and that's what we see sometimes with these bond decks.
Now, as someone who has lost a draw many times, I will not say that I am smarter than this. Technically, Drew could have not used Fenrir's search effect until after Fateful to play around draw, but like, it's playing around draw is like, who even expects draw? It's so... I don't know, it's like one of the least telegraphed hand traps, if that makes sense.
Well, it's one of those ones, if they have it, they have it. It's kind of... That's how it is. Yeah.
Like I can often tell when my opponent has Nibiru, like there's just like a vibe. But Droll is like pretty unassuming. Yeah, it looks like the Chocolata mode I believe has 2,500 attack, which is unfortunate. But Chateau is boosting it by 500, so,
yep, so
wouldn't even have mattered. And now we have Ticket online. This deck's like a lot scarier. Ticket's just gonna get him so much value. This game goes any longer, and in infinite impermanence as well. Now we get to use the Hoot Cake. We obviously didn't want to use we didn't want to lose our monsters to Fenrir, so we're just getting that out of the way first with the battle phase. Not a big deal. Using the Hoot Cake, grabbing Angeli. And like I said, this is kind of looking like Brennan's game here. Gonna make Appaloosa before we lock ourselves into Madolche's. Am I wrong though? Like once again, if Drew draws a Zoodiac, doesn't he just win?
I mean, comes back for sure, but there is the imperm, so he will have to like make at least 4 material Zeus.
Like a big Zeus, and I guess Appaloosa.
Yeah.
So that's two negates. But I think you can still make a 6 material Zeus in this deck. Infinite Impermanence and Appaloosa. We have the Rite of Arimathea though, which does trade like real clean for Appaloosa, if you recall.
It does. Yeah.
You just get the Draco back, and then that's her gone.
Looks like he might have drawn a monster for turn. I didn't quite see it.
That's I think resolving the effect of Hootcake or Anjali. Something has to be returned to the deck there. Adds another Hootcake. Oh yeah, shuffle it into the deck during the end phase. Fair enough.
Yeah, so it looks like he did draw a Farrowblade, as he has the Zoodiac.
Like, I think this clears, right? I actually think this completely wins, because you just go...
Too, yeah.
Yeah, you just summon the Fenrir, activate right, normal the Zoodiac. That's like an Exodia. And I guess we imperm the Fenrir because it's the only known quantity, and it does... Well, I don't know, because it just battles over the Appaloosa anyway. It's pretty...
Right now, though, as well, it doesn't matter too much because
yeah, that's just gonna
searching another copy of Fenrir, which is
I mean, that makes sense. I think Appaloosa there is correct. Eating the because Fenrir could just go to the battle phase and trade for the Appaloosa anyway.
Oh, it's right in the hand. Oh, yeah,
oh wow.
Right and faithful, yeah.
Initially activates it in Salon's column and then chooses to move it, which is I don't think Imperm was going to be there, but sure. Instinctive Yu-Gi-Oh player feeling of playing around set cards. All right, there's the Draco back, which will trade, I think, now for the set card.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. You're still going to get your search with the Faithful for the Draco back as well.
The Griffin Rider.
So yes,
it's fine. They both sound like the same card. Like
they should be. Yeah, should be.
Draco back and Griffin Rider, like that's the same thing. Legal Knight. Oh, that's come on, man. Don't have to do it like that. I mean, yeah, this card is fantastic.
I've always been like kind of a silent fan of this card. I do quite like its interaction, and in certain formats, I feel like it still will be a pretty decent option. Like having a monster that deals with other monsters by bouncing cards to the hand. It's always
yeah. I think if your deck is like my going first plan is adventure, I think you have to play it. Because it's so good against some decks. Like we said, disrupting the normal summon is like often a lot better than a negate against some decks. So if your heavy adventure package is your win condition, sometimes you kind of have to play this card. It's very good. Is this game?
I mean,
this is game, right?
Too.
Yeah, this is game. The Thoroughblade's huge. It's like 1600.
Draco back now, bouncing the Appaloosa.
Yep. Choosing the Appaloosa is interesting here. I don't know why. I don't think we're activating another monster effect before the battle phase, right?
No, I guess not.
Yeah. I probably would have hit the spell and trap just because, I mean, if it was like evenly matched, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it.
No, he's just conceding that is enough to attack for game.
Yeah, I mean, Brendan was in such a kind of prominent position, and it just all came undone under the
Yeah.
I don't know if the Appaloosa maybe wasn't 100% correct there, because it just, with a Fenrir known in hand, like that's instantly going to take 2 tokens off of it. Like,
also, maybe there was a way we could have kept the battle. I feel like going to the battle phase, Brennan had Chateau live, so attacking for game is actually quite easy. He put Drew down to 3,400. Potentially was a way he could have maybe closed the game out through the Fenrir, and use that battle phase like a lot more aggressively.
That is kind of the power of Fenrir as a card, though. Just puts you under so much pressure straight away.
Well, that's why Kashira is such a good deck, even with all of the, Book of Moons and Nibiru's and Lava Golems, is they can just like keep Fenrir Unicorn in hand, and it's like, yeah, that's a pretty good turn 3, I would say.
Yep, so I had a quick glimpse of the side deck there, and yeah, Drew was on the Solemn Judgment and looked like a few continuous traps as well. But
yeah, it's just like, that's my
first. Yeah,
that's my plan for going first. It's just set 5.
So a pretty swift game overall. I mean, I know it felt like it went really fast, even though there is only 4 minutes left in the round. Both players made all their plays quite quickly, and yeah,
it's because Drew really just kind of had like a linear sequence of plays, right? Like summon Fenrir,